give up. Today is hard, tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. So, children, even today the situation is very hard. Let's hope for a better tomorrow. Good morning, dear children. So, let's continue with our second chapter of geography, that is the atmosphere. So, in my previous video, we have learned about the composition of atmosphere. In that composition of atmosphere, first of all, I told you what is atmosphere, and after that I told you the composition of atmosphere, where the nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and many other gases together form the atmosphere. So till there we have already learned in our previous video, and today we are going to start with our next topic, and this next topic is the layers of atmosphere. So in our earth, in the atmosphere, there are mainly 5 layers of atmosphere, and these 5 layers of atmosphere are: the first layer is troposphere, and the second layer is stratosphere, third layer mesosphere, fourth layer is thermosphere, and the last layer is exosphere. So we will learn about all these layers one by one. So let's start with the first layer of atmosphere, that is troposphere. So as you can see, I have drawn this diagram here. In this diagram, this is our earth, and after that earth, I have drawn all the 5 layers of atmosphere. Okay, so we'll discuss about all these layers one by one. So let us start with the first layer. First layer is troposphere. So this is our troposphere. This is the lowest layer of the earth, or you can say that this is the layer which is closest to the earth. Okay, and the height of this layer is 18 kilometer near to the equator. The height is 18 kilometer above the surface of the earth, and here near to the poles the height is, it remains only 8 kilometers above the surface of the earth. So here it is 18 kilometer, and here it remains only 8 kilometers on both sides of the pole. So this is the first point about the troposphere, about this layer. The second point is that about 3/4 of the total atmosphere is contained in this layer. Okay. Now the next point is that all types of weather phenomena occurs here. Most of water vapor, clouds and dust particles of atmosphere are found in this layer only. Okay, and it acts like a blanket which protect the days from becoming very hot and the nights from becoming very cold. And the temperature here in this layer, it decreases as we go high above in this layer. The temperature starts decreasing here, and the uppermost layer of this troposphere, it is called tropopause. Okay, so this line, this uppermost layer of the troposphere, it is called tropopause, and this tropopause separates troposphere from the stratosphere. So the next layer just above the troposphere is stratosphere. Okay, just above the troposphere is stratosphere. Here we can see this narrow zone that separates troposphere from stratosphere, and we call this narrow zone, as I told you just now, we call it tropopause. And the next layer is stratosphere, and this stratosphere extends up to the height of 50 kilometer from the surface of the earth. Okay, the total height of stratosphere from just above the surface of the earth is 50 kilometers. Okay, and this layer, in this layer the temperature increases gradually. So as we learned that in troposphere, as we go high above the atmosphere, the temperature starts decreasing. But when we reach to the stratosphere, here again the temperature, it gradually increases. Okay, and as there are no bumpy pocket of air are found in this layer. So no bumpy pocket of air are found in this layer as these are found in troposphere. As I told you that all kinds of weather phenomena are present in the troposphere. But here no bumpy air pockets are found. As no bumpy air pockets are found, that's why this layer is suitable for the aircrafts to fly. Okay, so aircrafts usually fly in this layer. Always remember that most of the aircrafts fly in this layer, stratosphere, and this layer has a band of ozone gas. Okay, the above part of this troposphere, stratosphere has a band of ozone gas, and this ozone gas, this layer of ozone, it protects us from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. And this band of ozone gas is called Ozonosphere, and it is quite warm. So this Ozonosphere, it is quite warm due to absorption of these ultraviolet rays of the sun. Okay, and the narrow zone here that separates stratosphere from mesosphere, this narrow zone is called stratopause. What do we call it? We call it stratopause. So this narrow zone is known as stratopause. So just above the stratosphere, the next layer is mesosphere. So the first layer is troposphere. Just above the troposphere, the second layer is stratosphere, and above the stratosphere, the third layer is mesosphere. So the mesosphere, as it lies just above the stratosphere, and the extension of this layer is 80 kilometer above the surface of the earth. From surface of the earth, it extended up to 80 kilometers. Okay, this layer extended up to 80 kilometers. So here in this layer, the temperature decreases with height. So as I told you that in troposphere temperature decreases with height, in stratosphere the temperature gradually increases, and again in mesosphere here the temperature decreases with height till it reaches -100 degree Celsius. Okay, and this layer mesosphere has the lowest temperature in the atmosphere. It has the lowest temperature in the atmosphere. And the meteors, you know about the meteors, you have already learned about the meteors in your previous classes. So meteors that enters into the atmosphere, when it reaches to this layer of mesosphere, here these meteors starts burning. Okay, and these meteors burns up completely in this layer mesosphere, and most of the meteors does not reach to the surface of the earth because it burns completely in mesosphere. Okay, and the narrow zone that separates mesosphere from the next layer, thermosphere, this narrow zone is called mesopause. So the next layer is the thermosphere. So this thermosphere is the fourth layer of atmosphere. The first layer is troposphere, second layer is stratosphere, third layer is mesosphere, and just above the mesosphere, the next layer that lies above the mesosphere is thermosphere. And the extension of mesosphere is 450 kilometer. Is 450 kilometer above the surface of the earth. Okay, this is the extension of thermosphere. So this layer is also known as ionosphere. Why? Because the electrically charged ions are found in this layer. So these electrically charged ions helps in transmitting of communication signals. And these communication signals are helpful for us, as for us that the our mobile phones, our TV, all these work just because of these electrically charged ions. Even the weather forecast and all these things are possible because of these electrically charged ions. So the radio waves are reflected back to the earth from this layer, and communication satellites help in transmitting. So all the communication satellites, these all are fixed in this layer only. In this layer of atmosphere, all the communication satellites that are, you can say that the man-made satellites, these all are fixed in this layer only. Okay, and these communication satellites help in transmitting the signals back to earth. And the temperature in this layer, it rises rapidly with the altitude of this layer. So with the altitude of the layer, the temperature rises. And the last point again, the narrow zone that separates thermosphere from exosphere, this narrow zone is called thermopause. So the last layer of atmosphere, the fifth layer of atmosphere is exosphere. Okay, and this layer is the outermost layer of the earth, or outermost layer of the atmosphere. The air in this layer thins in this sphere. Okay, the air thins in this sphere until it ultimately merges into the atmosphere, and it thins in this layer. So in this layer, the temperature increases rapidly. Why? Because of the solar radiations. So this is the layer where the temperature increases rapidly because of the solar radiation. So I told you about the 5 layers of the atmosphere. So as I told you here, the first layer is troposphere, the second layer is stratosphere, third is mesosphere, fourth thermosphere, and the last layer is called exosphere. So these are the 5 layers of atmosphere. And after that I told you that in troposphere the temperature decreases with increasing height, whereas in stratosphere the temperature gradually increases. In mesosphere again the temperature decreases. Okay, and in thermosphere and in exosphere, in both the layers the temperature increases. So this is all about the layers of atmosphere. So I think this is enough for today, and in my next video we will start with our next topic. So till then, thank you and have a nice day.